What kind of septic tank do you have? It may seem strange to some people, but there are in fact some homeowners who may not even know they have a septic tank.
Something that we hear all the time is somebody moves from a metropolitan area and moves to the country, maybe because they bought a cottage or maybe they're retiring, and somewhere down the road we hear them say, "I never knew I had a septic system at my new property." And they usually say that when they have a problem.
But unlike a sewage system in the city, keeping a septic system well maintained is the homeowner's responsibility. And it's a good idea for a number of important reasons: to protect your health, your investment, and the environment. There are many contaminants in wastewater that can directly affect your health, including bacteria, viruses, parasites, and nitrates. If any of these contaminants reach your drinking water supply, they can cause diseases and other health and environmental problems. But the good news is, there really isn't that much to know about taking care of your septic system and how to avoid problems in the first place.
For a conventional system, a maintenance for a septic system primarily involves having the tank pumped out when the solids reach a level where it's not going to function properly. Typically, we say that's when the tank is 1/3 full, and that might happen every 3 years or every 5 years, depending on the kind of use.
The cost to pump out the tank can range from $150 to $350, depending on how far the material has to be trucked for disposal. But of course, that's a lot cheaper than replacing the whole system.
Your septic system may have a value of somewhere between $10,000 or $25,000. If you take care of it, it will last 25 years, 30 years, maybe even longer. The analogy I like to use is like maintaining your car. We all don't hesitate to have the oil changed in our car or do the routine tune-ups, and we do that so our car will last a long time. And the same thing is true for a septic system. If we pump our tank out regularly, our leaching bed will last a lot longer than if we never pump it out at all.
Besides pumping out the system, it's also important to clean the effluent filter, which is now a required feature of every septic system under the 2006 building code.
These are two examples of popular effluent filters that are used. This one here has a serpentine type filter on it, and so the sewage has to wind its way through this filter before it exits out the septic tank. As you can see, this is easy to remove, so it can be cleaned once a year as required. This is another example, slightly different design, but the same idea. It's got a fine slots the sewage has to make its way through, and it will filter out the fine particles. And like the other one, it's easy to remove, easy to clean, and slides back in to go back into service fairly easily.
Another really important part of septic system maintenance, and one you may not think of, is keeping trees and shrubs from growing too close.
Now, this is an old style pipe, so this is a clay tile that we don't use anymore, but you can see that it's jammed full of roots, and these roots come from a cedar tree in this case, which was planted too close to the leaching bed. And since cedar trees love water, and leaching beds have lots of water, they all go to the leaching bed.
And did you know that water conservation is good for your septic system as well?
Water conservation is important for any system operation, principally because the less water we put through our septic system, the better it will work.
Efficient water use improves the bacterial action of the septic system and helps reduce the risk of failure. So that means doing full loads of laundry and dishes instead of half loads, using low-flow shower heads and low-flush or dual-flush toilets. And never put the wrong things down the toilet. Things like expired pharmaceuticals and antibiotics or other chemical pollutants.
Clearly things like paint or solvents or gasoline or oils, our systems are not designed to treat that, so as part of maintenance and part of operation, we've got to make sure we're not putting the wrong things down the system.